On a bright Sunday morning, June 7, 1942, newspapers around the globe were filled with stark headlines about the Second World War. In Buenos Aires, La Nación's front page spoke of fierce fighting in the German industrial area of the Ruhr, crushing air raids, and the Allied triumph at Midway. Nestled among the war reports, sports results, and ads for Fernet Branca and digestive remedies was a short literary piece that would outlive the day's news by decades. Jorge Luis Borges' Funes the Memorious. Appearing on page 3 of the Arts and Letters section, the story almost vanished into the routine of the day. Yet, Funes the Memorious would soon become legendary, a gateway to philosophical musings on memory, infinite knowledge, and the costs of remembering too much. The tale centers on Ireneo Funes, a young man from Fray Bentos who suffers a violent fall from a horse. When he regains consciousness, he discovers he can recall everything he sees or experiences with perfect clarity. What seems at first like a miracle quickly reveals its darker side. Borges describes Funes's gift or curse in exquisite detail. The rest of us might glance at a table and notice 3 cups, while Funes would see every pattern, every angle, every possible detail, comparing it with shapes of clouds he once saw on a particular dawn and the foaming swirl left by an oar in a distant river. Borges, who famously explored themes of labyrinths and infinity in works like The Aleph and the Library of Babel, found a new kind of infinite in Funes's memory, an unending catalogue of impressions that threatened to overwhelm the young man. As Borges put it, Funes's memory resembled a rubbish heap, stacked high with every moment of his life, all of them equally vivid. The short story first germinated in a curious place, an obituary for James Joyce that Borges wrote in 1941. There he mentioned an imaginary monster capable of reading Joyce's colossal novel Ulysses, 400,000 words that unfold over a single day, without skipping a single detail. That monster became Ireneo Funes, a prodigious but tragic figure who forgets nothing and as a result can barely sleep. In fact, Borges calls Funes a precursor to Superman, a suburban and incomplete Zarathustra, echoing Friedrich Nietzsche's reflections on how infinite remembering would paralyze all action. Nor was Borges the first to ponder extraordinary memory. The ancient encyclopedist Pliny the Elder noted fabled cases: a king who remembered every soldier's name, an orator who forgot even his own after an accident, and a minister who learned all the Roman senators' names in a day. Centuries later, the Russian psychologist Alexander Luria documented the case of Solomon Shereshevsky, who had near-limitless recall, another living mirror to Funes. Yet while Shereshevsky used mnemonic techniques and synesthesia, merging sights with sounds or colors to build his memory, Funes needed no such methods. He simply remembered, and that was precisely the problem. Borges himself knew something of unusual memory. Despite going blind in middle age, he could recite long passages from books in multiple languages: Spanish, English, German, even Anglo-Saxon. Some suggest that blindness sharpened his memory, unburdened by external distractions. Those who knew him, like his future wife Maria Kodama, witnessed this uncanny power. When she sought a passage in a book Borges had last read in 1916, he guided her to the exact page, recalling its location as if he could still see it. Funes the Memorious would later appear in the collection Ficciones, 1944, among other tales that toyed with reality and the infinite. In a mere 12 pages, Borges wove together threads of philosophy, science, and psychology. He hinted at William James, whose ideas on the necessity of forgetting echo throughout the story, and he paid homage to his father, a law professor and psychology enthusiast, who first opened Borges' eyes to such complexities of the mind. For Funes, every moment is etched in permanent detail. He cannot do what the rest of us do so naturally: merge memories, blur them, let them fade. His tragedy warns that total recall might rob us of thought itself. To think, we must leave something behind. In portraying this rural youth paralyzed by perfect memory, Borges created not merely a monster, but an unforgettable portrait of how memory and forgetting shape our humanity. Amid the war news of June 7, 1942, amid Allied airstrikes and troop movements in deserts far from Buenos Aires, an unassuming short story introduced an unforgettable figure to the literary world. Over time, Funes the Memorious would stand as a testament to Borges's fascination with infinite possibilities, labyrinths of the mind, and the double-edged power of memory. In that single newspaper, overshadowed by world-shaking events, Borges quietly offered a glimpse of a universe in which the ability to remember everything might be the cruelest fate of all.